what it brings is chaos. Children will grow up, instead of them to be humble, they try to reflect their mind back on how they were treated by their father, by their parents. So that brings a kind of a sad mood into their life. And the child becomes very discouraged. I don't want to pass that on to my children. I don't want to introduce fear into them. As a good father, draw them closer, be very cheerful, and to make them feel that, this is a caring father. I was so happy that when they got to Nigeria, they were very excited. And when they saw my mother, I said, "This is my mother. This is my mother." Look, what of your dad? I said, "Oh, my dad died some years ago." So my mother was very happy seeing her grandchildren, because it's not an easy thing for you to take children to this place. And it is not done. I think mine was a miracle.
From the day I stepped into Japan, I had it in mind that I'm going to come back home here. I had that in mind from day one, that I'm going to come back to Nigeria. When I had my kids, I was also working very hard to come back home. I would have come back home long ago, but I have to put things in place in Nigeria.
What's his name? Carl.
Imagine my in-law called me and said, "Man, this is my daughter. Emeka Igwilo. So leave her, don't marry her because she's going to give you a problem." I said, "What kind of problem?" He said, "They're all bringing his wife. If the father is late now, Mr. Kichisan. May he so rest in peace. He's a very nice man. We sit down and talk and chat all the time. He likes me being around him. You know, we drink, he likes a Kirin beer. So whenever I'm with him, we drink our Kirin beer and smile. Mother-in-law was also good. Whenever I travel to Japan, I stay in her house. My in-laws, they are very good to me. From the day I married my wife.
Do you have any memories of what it was like when your children were born in Japan?
I think I was working. I'm a professional welder. She went to the hospital. She's delivered as a healthy baby boy. You know, I was called that you have a baby boy. Man. First thing, what was the kilo? I think the young boy was about 3.7 kilos. It was a healthy boy and strong. It was my happiest day. It was my happiest day. I moved on to Yoshioka. It's a very good neighborhood, quiet. It's known with flower zone, you know. We are living, at least when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you see flower around, that gives you, you know your day is good for today. They went to school around the Angio, and I've never had any problem with the teachers, the students, you know. You know, most of my colleagues, they will tell you the kids have been bullied in the school, but in my own case, it wasn't so. Around the area where I live in Angio, they are all working class people, you know. It was all Japanese, you know. So some of them, you know, want to chat with you. Some of them want you to greet them. Some of them will invite you to their houses. You know. It was really fun. I enjoyed my neighborhood in Japan. I never had problems. Yes, I remember in those days in Japan. Oh, we do a lot of barbecue thing. Go to parks, then fireworks, which I know we are lacking here. Although we are doing it here, but it's not as that of Japan. And I love fireworks. You know, sometimes boat cruising around, and the beautiful atmosphere of Japan. So many things, you know, so many things. Well, just, I think it was a wonderful time though.
I believe in the joy that will last forever, the joy that will last on. So, if I should allow the children to be here, and school here, it will be very difficult for them to realize their dream, because you see some of them they want to become a doctor, become maybe an ambassador to Nigeria, and one want to become an engineer. But in Japan here, it's going to be a different thing completely for them. No matter what they know, they will still recognize as non-indigenous. But in Nigeria there, when I took them home for the first time, I went to the immigration, I said, take him home, he's a Nigerian, take him home. You are looking for a visa for him, want to extend what visa? It's not your son, it's your son, take him home. But they will never accept that in Japan. That is give you 100% assurance that those children can become what they want to become. I have to put myself in that position because of the sake of the children. So I think raising children in Nigeria is really not an easy thing. It's very difficult. But as I've put it before, you need to go extra miles, extra miles to do that. At times you have a sleepless night. When the children are sleeping, you wake up in the night, try to walk around your house in the midnight, 2 a.m., 1 a.m. You're walking around and you are meditating on what the following day is going to look like for the children. And what are you going to do for them? How are you going to make them feel comfortable, and how you will make them to remember the good memory. You see, before we went back to Nigeria in 2011, there was an incident that took place here. My daughter was 8 years old. When she called me and said, Daddy, Mama told me that if we leave for Nigeria, we will marry to a Japanese man. After 2 weeks, we got to know she's pregnant with the last baby, and from there, my wife said that he has a boyfriend. So we were very, skeptical who is the rightful owner of the baby, and if it is mine or for the man. But notwithstanding, I control the man in me not to be violent, because I know if I should explode, that will affect the children mentally, psychologically. I'm still maintaining that, because what transpire between myself and the mother is not what I have to just get across to the children, because they are still very tender. They don't have that capacity to absorb it. They don't have that potentiality, to really understand what is wrong and what is right. So at times progresses, I think I will be in position to furnish them gradually when I know that they are very receptive. They can understand where things went wrong and how it went wrong.
A lot of my friends in Japan are having a lot of problems. One is that most of them wants to come back home. Either the wife will say that, no, she's not coming. Some of them are divorced just because they want to come back home with their kids. I think the best thing for them to come back home with their kids, come here, maybe spend some years, and they can go back to Japan. It will help them a lot. You help them a lot if you allow both cultures. It makes them work. The sky's your beginning. I took a good decision by bringing them back home. If I would have allowed them to, say, come up to the age of 15, turn 15 in Japan, it would have been difficult for me to bring them back home. I think they are happy coming back to Africa. At least they can make friends, socialize, do things African way. And, they are first class citizens here. Here they can be the president of this country. But up there, I don't think they will even hire them as a police. First of all, we lived in Lagos. We came down to Nigeria, we lived in Lagos. Just for only 3 days, I think my family didn't like Lagos. They will move down to Abuja. They love it here. Then gradually get to know our neighbors. The school came up, they have to go around to look for school where I will fix them. Some of the school accepted them, some because they cannot speak English. But I know the mathematics is the same all over the world. So we took some texts in some schools. They became first, they took first in mathematics. English is always 0. So they gave them admission. It wasn't easy, When you take them to school, you have to go and bring them. It's a big challenge, and in Japan, it was more easier. As far as I'm concerned, it's easier in Japan than in Nigeria. It's easier. Of course, they have Japanese. It's in their blood. It's in their blood. The only thing is that they've been here for some time now. They can survive in any situation because they've had it there and here. If it is rough for them, they can always survive here because that is how we survive in Japan. I survived it when I went to Japan. It will not be easy for a Japanese to just come to Nigeria and fit in. It's going to take him some time because up there things are made for them easily. Everything is going on well. Everything is digital. Here we are still playing the analog way. We are still playing the analog way here. So I think bringing my kids back to Nigeria is the best thing they can have for themselves. It will make them survive anywhere they go. It will make them fit in anywhere they go.
You imagine something, but if you focus on what you imagine, you get to understand that the imagined make more sense than reality. It makes more sense than reality because your ability to make the imagined become productive. You imagine something. This thing I imagine it, but if the imagined remains without you working on what you imagined, it will die the way you imagine it. But your ability to work on what you imagine to make more sense, it depends on you. So these children have a dream. I see that in them. So I now took it upon myself that this kid must go home no matter the barriers. Let it go home. Let it study. Maybe if God's willing, maybe their dream and the dream I have for them will come to reality. I know God will do that for me.
I'm a father who loves children. I'm a father who takes care of his own family. I'm a father who wants peace. I'm a father who is generous, kind. I want to be remembered as a man who is also a hard-working man to raise his family.
To be a father is not an easy task, and to be a responsible father, you need to work so hard. How to push your children in the right path. At times, as a good father, you have a sleepless night. You have to be mind when they made a mistake. You have to be very polite so that you don't irritate them. I have learned that in my own time. I learned that from my father, to be very brutal over little mistakes. To hit someone, to hit me. No, I don't want to do that. Tell the child the way he should grow, that he will never depart from it. Show them the way they should walk. So if I fight every day in my life to remain in God's love, I always want the children to remain my love too. How do I do it? I try to be very friendly with them. Draw them closer to tell them they are part of me. I brought you to this world not to be a failure, but to be a success, to achieve the best. And so for you to achieve the best, they need my attention, they need my good caring, they need my humbleness, they need the best thing that a child ought to receive from a good parents. And I know it's my responsibility.